Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing. If you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a
Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm gonna have to turn off that fan, maybe. It's very hot here. I hope everybody's doing well. Colin Auto sent us over here. Thank you for joining us. We're so glad to have you. Things are a little different here than they are at Colin's. Small difference. But no shame in Colin's game. I love you, Colin. If you're here, you know I'm kidding. We make jokes, we have a good time, we watch court, all the things. All the things. If you haven't subscribed by chance, do me a favor. Do it. It's exciting. Anyways, we have some court to watch, and we're gonna have a good time doing it, but Legal Fiction has said, no, we gotta do something else first, and I gotta get to the other screens, or else it won't even work. Colin got one. Oh, is it gonna pop up? Oh no. Legal Fiction, thank you so much. Oh, there they come. Here it comes. That might not have been all 10, but I thank you for all 10. That's a 10 out of 10. Thank you so much, Legal Fiction. And we can also say thank you to Reseller Road Trip Adventure for 13 months and using your milestone chat to say hit the thumbs up. That's so sweet. John's here. He'll be right back. Please note that for the record. We keep records around here, guys, just so you know. Anyways, seriously, I'm so glad that you're all here. We're gonna have such a good time. I have so many things we should talk about. I actually have been on the computer some part of the day and then off the computer the other part of the day, so yeah. Let's get going with some court. I was like, will barter? Yeah. I got a whole new county that I didn't even know existed.
Huntley, could you raise your right hand, please? How is it you're asking for an order against Mr. Simmons?
Could you
Go,
rephrase
ma'am.
that?
Hang on just a second.
And if you're holding your hand up at home going, what? That's not your line, Judge. That's what I said too. The next line is, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? And instead he said, tell me what why you need the order. Cheshire Cat. You better like or the clouder is coming for ya. I like it. Seriously though, he has to hold his hand up for an uncanny amount of time. So Wahoo, I'm counting on you to read his palm, and you'll find that we swear a lot around here too. Not just with our hands up.
I'll give you an order there also. You can go, you can follow out to the civil office. He'll give you the order. You know, and I'm going to go back though, ma'am. I'm not. Anyway, no, you can go. You can go. You're free to go. Mr. Simmons, your hand's still in the air. You swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And you're Mr. Huntley, not Mr. Simmons. I know that.
I do.
You can put your hand down. How?
This judge gives my ADHD a run for my money, Barry, but I'm glad that you love him. Legal fiction, 18 months is almost a year on Mars, and I will let you know that 18 months is about as long. I'm not sure that you can get much long. Well, maybe you can get 20 months. Anyways, the channel is coming up to its 2-year anniversary. So if you want to be in that first 2-year group of people, make sure that you subscribe. And then prove it somehow. He does look like he's wearing a disguise, and he'll talk a little bit about actually hiding. Oh, I love that legal fiction. Let's get as long as we can.
Was it that Mr. Simmons owes, or you need an order against Mr. Simmons?
I have experienced continual harassment over the course of the last 2.5 years.
Well, go ahead, explain. What's
So
happened?
basically,
Disrespect.
yeah, just to give you some scope, it started in spring of 2022. He was referred to me for a landscape project from one of his neighbors, which we, started exchanging information and stuff like that, and came to a tentative deal on a project. There was a, pretty strict deadline in place, which was fine. My initial estimate included some fixes for a couple things that he didn't want to pay for, so he opted to have his previous landscaper / another contractor, like an electrician, to come out and finish some of the work. That needed to be done for me to proceed completely with my project, but I bid it as such so that the down payment would basically cover the preparation costs for equipment, labor, disposal fees, fuel, that kind of thing. Basically, the second half of the job, the materials intensive, I would basically be pocketing that as long as everything went okay with the first phase. There was several red flags throughout, which I kind of neglected to, see as warnings just because he was a referral from a couple of really good customers. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Essentially, the things that would help hold me up on his project weren't fixed. That basically, put me past.
I think I saw Crass's name. Oh, thank you, legal fiction. Hi, Colin. I'm not trying to yell at you. Please feel bad for me though. There's no air conditioning where I live and it's very hot. Max here, perfect. We're about to get started or continue. First of all, thank you, Colin, for the raid. Thank you, Legal Fiction, for the generosity, seriously, and welcome new members. That's awesome. This guy is quite a storyteller. The judge is all over the place. I think this is his first week as a TPO judge again, like they rotate. So I'm pretty sure about that. But anyways, let's, oh my God. I gotta have to check the temperature here. It's feels like 77. That was even hotter than yesterday. And I know you're laughing, but there's no air conditioning. I'm melting.
Past the point of being able to complete the deadline. So I did what work I could. When it came down to the deadline not being met, he basically told me that I was going to do the project for less than we agreed, which I basically put my foot down and said, no, that's not going to happen. There was no contract in place. He requested that things be off the books. Another red flag, but because he was a good referral, I, just gave him the benefit of the doubt. At this point, though, I did decide to pull off the project, to basically go over my books to see if that there was anything left of his down payment, which after a couple weeks of going through, there really wasn't much. We had 7 to 8 working days with a couple employees, equipment, truck and trailer. We have material going out, disposal fees that correspond with that, and then material coming in. When I basically told him that, I started receiving these certified letters that basically were like an intent to sue. It was basically just something that he typed up saying like, hey, I'm going to sue you if you don't give me my money back. Which I just kind of ignored because it wasn't like an actual service or anything like that. It was kind of just like a fancy printout. So he then started driving around other projects that I was working on or other projects that like one of my coworkers was working on. He never,
Doesn't this sound like a jilted lover? Oh my gosh. Also, I had a tiny bit of lemonade to drink. Oh, and then now this is just ice, and I probably should drink water, but I'm gonna fill it with Coca-Cola here in a minute. But do we believe him so far? How do we feel about Jacob Huntley? By the way, if you noticed on the thumbnail, we are going to get a husky appearance today. Thank fucking God. We could all use that on a Monday. I think we can agree.
interacted with me when I was out, but he did interact with my coworker and one of my previous customers. I don't have any evidence or anything like that presenting. This was like so long ago. And then was getting like lots of phone calls. He drove by my house several times. So I pulled my personal information off of my business page. I got off social media, changed my phone number, I stopped working in his area, just to basically kind of distance myself because I was like, this is like getting kind of weird.
Hang on just a minute. What do you need? Oops.
Yes, Judge, I will go get my Coca-Cola. Thank you for reminding me. Also, guys, tell me what you had for dinner. If you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner. I would love to hear that. I'll be right back.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. So like I said, it was getting uncomfortable for me. And I just felt like I was like being somewhat harassed. I was very open from the beginning for him to serve me papers to open a civil case over this because I felt like there wasn't going to be really anything that he would gain from that. I felt like I had like the deal that we had worked out. I was kind of had my bases covered. Which I never received. He never pursued any type of like direct, like legitimate legal action, which I was open to. So fast forward a little bit, going into fall, I hadn't heard from him for a while, but I had also changed my phone number and stuff and like stopped working in his area. I got a cold call for an estimate, which is like very common. At the time when I was like landscaping, like that was just something that I had.
We just normally get cold calls from people. Fine. Here we go with the Coca-Cola. Not ladylike. Salmon and mashed potatoes is what I wish I could be having. If any of you don't know, I am a personal chef to an asshole in his 40s. And today he has requested burgers, and then I'll also be meal prepping chicken after this stream is over. Scantily clad, of course. That's because of the heat, though. Anyways, but I really would love some salmon with mashed potatoes that I don't cook. That's the dream. Oh, for extra points, if you haven't seen this yet, go ahead and guess what store comes into play here in a minute. What big box store? I'll give you that. What big box store will get into play here in a moment? Trader Joe's, good guess. Best Buy, Walmart, Walmart. Home Depot from Rob. Costco, Bill says. Target or Target. Home Depot, says Jonathan. Oh, let's find out.
And this individual asked me to meet him at his place. So I did. I have the original voicemail. I also didn't submit that. I didn't think to. Setting up the meeting, this was in Southeast Olympia. I met him there and was then confronted by Mr. Simmons and this person. They then proceeded to tell me that I was going to go to my bank account and pull money out for them. They had me like cornered behind this person's home. I felt very afraid for my safety, and I basically told him, I was like, if you think I owe you money, this is not the way you go about doing this. Like, you need to get a lawyer, you need to serve me, I'll see you in court. I was like, you're not going to get me to get violent. I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm going to go back to work now. And so after them kind of threatening me and being weird and like aggressive and being like, well, you're going to go do this, I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to leave. When I left, they proceeded to follow me. And I don't know if it was his accomplice's car or Mr. Simmons' car, but they then proceeded to follow me all around Southeast Olympia and Lacey, which I made a 911 call en route because I started really fearing for my safety at that point. I didn't, just because I was like, they did this. I don't know what else they're like capable or willing to do over this. So I called the cops. I was on dispatch for probably 30 minutes with the dispatch person. I was very emotional. I was very upset because I was afraid. So she directed me to go to the Hawks Prairie Home Depot, which apparently at the time the coffee shop there had been robbed.
The coffee shop at the Home Depot? What is the coffee shop at a Home Depot? I've only ever seen... Is it Home Depot where they sometimes have popcorn? In Canada, there's a department, or not, like a Home Depot-esque store that has like popcorn when you go in. But so whoever called it, good job, Home Depot. Home Depot has kept pretty much the same logo, haven't they? They're like their whole business life.
Sometime very recently, so there was a large number of law enforcement already on the scene. I parked my truck, kept my hands on my steering wheel with my, hands-free stuff so that I could talk to the dispatch person. Jay approached my truck and was like, this is, basically trying to further confront me. And so an officer came over, he basically asked me what was going on. He then basically addressed Jay, asked him what's going on. He then told Jay that he needed to leave me alone and go home. Otherwise he could be like, face charges for harassment or whatever. The officer came back to me and asked me if I was okay. And I said, yes, I thanked him, was all cordial and stuff. And there was no formal police report written. Like I said, there was like a ton of officers there. I imagine they were very busy. So I did file to get a harassment order, but I never actually filed it. Simply because after this incident, I received one more of those like intent to sue letters, which I ignored. And then I never heard anything else. Fast forward until just a few weeks ago, I received another call on a new number I've paid to have like private and stuff, just because I'm like trying to distance myself from any of my like previous landscape customers. Like I don't do that anymore. I'm like a full-time college student, so I'm not really like.
Hold on, is landscape a euphemism? Did I miss it? I'm being serious now. What are we talking about? He's changed his phone number. He's changed his life to get away from his former landscaping clients. What the fuck did you do to their lawn? I want to see his portfolio.
I want my number to be private these days. So he called me again, and I basically was just like, you got the wrong number. I hung up, and then I filed for this. During that time lapse, I didn't really ever see him or run into him anywhere, but my coworker.
And when did this happen? This incident that ended up at the Home Depot, when was that?
So it was October of 2022. I got a voicemail from his accomplice on the 17th of that month.
So this was like 3 years ago.
Yeah. And then I can't remember the exact date, but it was would have been between, I believe, the 21st and the 24th of October that the incident occurred, because
That's the thing that led you to the Home Depot.
Correct.
Got it. And then you didn't hear from him until that was 2023, did you say, or
2022.
2022. So now we're coming up on 3 years later. From that incident till now, what happened?
The only thing that I haven't experienced anything directly, but my coworker that I used to subcontract with, he did have some experience with Jay approaching him on the job while he was out working.
But it's not, and then you keep saying Jay, does he mean
Oh,
you?
sorry, his
Yes.
name, Mr.
Okay.
Simmons, yes.
Okay, all right. But he doesn't work with you anymore or anything like
No.
that? He's got his own gig?
Yeah, he's got his own gig. We weren't even working together at that time.
All right, let me hear from Mr. Simmons.
Okay, thank you.
You raise your right hand, please. You swear and affirm the information you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can put your hand down. What's your perspective on all this?
Okay, so as Mr. Huntley stated, this all began in July of 2022 when I hired him for a landscaping project. We disagreed as far as the circumstances regarding why the project didn't continue. That's obviously not why we're here. We're here because of the harassment piece. Since I don't know if you, did you have a chance to review some of the information?
Yeah, I can.
So I sent it a lot. Just to establish kind of the point of view of everything on, I submitted initial text exchanges with Mr. Huntley where he basically indicated he would be coming out on a specific day, or the day before he canceled the project. So
you know, whether or not this order will be granted or not is what happened after all that. I don't know whether he did a good job or bad job, and that's not really germane to whether or not an order will be entered.
Certainly, and I was only addressing it because it was part of his testimony in his filing, that's all. Regarding the specific incidents, as Mr. Huntley stated, he sent an email, which if you wouldn't mind, this is an important piece. I did provide the email that he stated that he sent.
Where is that on?
That should be on, I apologize.
When did you get the intent to sue letter again there, Mr. Huntley?
I've received multiple. The most recent one.
The most recent one after the incident in 2022 at Home Depot. When did you?
I don't have record of that one, but I do have the most recent one that I was sent.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Okay, the most recent one was 5/20/25.
Okay, so that was just in May.
Yeah.
Prior to that, when was the last one?
It would have been right after the incident that led us to Home Depot.
So you basically had a 3-year break without hearing from him, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, continue.
Okay, so again, why the project, that's neither the
No.
concern. His initial email to me, if you wouldn't mind referencing, Your Honor, is labeled as 2C. That's the document that I submitted. In the document, it was July 28th, 12:27 p.m. He clearly stated,
And what year is this?
This is 2022, Your Honor.
Okay.
This is where he clearly stated, I will receive.
What happened? Did these guys walk into a time warp and it's 2022? Did I walk into a time warp and it's 2022? What's going on? Why is this happening right now? I'm fucking perplexed, folks. We know the wait time to get into the judge ain't that long. We watch it every week. It's just a jump to the left.
Refund from his company account within 2 weeks.
Right. But I think his position, so here, again, I'm actually gonna cut you folks off. Because here where I'm at, I think his position is, well, there's nothing left to refund. All the money was used up in your deposit. That's what he's saying. You're saying, no, that's not the case. So, and I understand, oh, go ahead. This
It's
calendar has
puppy
gone to the
time.
dogs. There's been far
Oh.
too many dogs on this calendar. And I understand, oh, go ahead. This calendar has gone to the dogs. There's been far too many dogs on this calendar. I'm sorry there, Mr. Hunzinger. So here's where I'm at with this, right? And so the incident that you described back in 2022 is incredibly concerning, but it was 3.5 years ago. Or
Your Honor, objection. The dog would like to speak. He's actually the one that's done all of the preparation for this case, and Jacob is over here fumbling it. Okay? You don't even understand. He finally broke back in. You need to raise your right paw. Do you swear to be the goodest boy of all the boys and the goodest? Yes. Woof! He barked, so that's a yes. They aren't sequestering the witnesses or the dogs? Jesus Christ.
or 2.5 years ago, coming up on 3 years ago. And then apparently you had sent something recently about an intent to sue. And so here's where I'm at right now. Let me finish. Given the amount of time that has passed with regard to that concerning incident now, I don't think an order is appropriate going forward. But I'll tell you, either sue him or don't, and be done with it. Don't be sending him any sort of letters. Don't be sending him any sort of sending people out to talk to someone he doesn't even work with anymore. Because if something else comes up like this, then he'll get his order. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And him going to somebody else, I don't find that might be related to you, but the person your former co-worker or subcontractor, he's bothering him, he needs to come and get his order. But given what you've said, the amount of time that has passed, I just think that's, again, I think we're past for the time for an order out of that particular incident. It was a couple of years ago, but I understand you got this letter. I'm telling you, either sue him or don't. And if you keep sending him letters or correspond with him again, he can come back and then he'll get the order. Because certainly that'd be harassing at this point. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
You understand my ruling here today, Mr. Hunsinger?
Yeah, it's Mr. Huntley, but yes, sir, Your Honor, I do.
Your Honor.
Yes. Did
Am
you
I
say
able
something?
to just add a
Wrong
few more
name.
things, if you don't mind?
The only thing you can do now
It'll
is
be
talk
quick.
me out of it and give him an order. So you do so at your peril.
Okay. There will be no contact, Your Honor.
Thank you.
The only reason why there was because I was under the impression that he agreed I would receive a refund. So
Okay.
so I never knew he disputed it until finally, but everything's understood, Your Honor.
You wait, you can get a copy of this.
Don't worry, we have another case coming right up after this, ladies and gentlemen, from the state of Texas, which
And
had some
Mr.,
crazy weather last night.
Hunsinger, you can get a copy of this off the district court website.
Not his name either, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're free to leave the Zoom call. We'll make a copy of this for you. Are you back online over there with the printer?
I just wanted to confirm that you guys have the right email address for me, because I did not get emailed any of the evidence that Mr. Simmons presented.
Well, it was just submitted here. It might not have been time for it to go out. It just came in on the 5th,
Oh, okay.
which
No
was, okay. So bring Justin in here. So that was just submitted on the 5th, which was, when was that? Was that 4 days ago? Was that Thursday of last week? So it might not have made it into the file yet.
Okay, gotcha.
And it wouldn't get emailed to you anyway. You need to get on the district court website and look in the file.
Oh, okay, I understand. Thank you.
Ms. Lowe, Ms. Alderson, and Ms. Ehart can come on the Zoom call.
Oh no, these ladies, we done with those bitches. I'm sure somebody else has covered it. And if I have time, I'll go back and get that case tonight. I'm sure it'll be well covered. But this case, I don't think will be as well covered, but I thought it was a bit more interesting. So let's see. Did I record it in 2X? We'll find out if they talk like fucking maniacs like I do. I probably sound like
Mr. Stevenson, rather.
2X.
Okay, Mr. Stevenson, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm?
Even I knew that. Jesus fucking Christ. All right, don't worry. Don't worry. It's magic. We're good now.
Mr. Stevenson, rather.
Okay, Mr. Stevenson, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay, you can lower your hand. You may proceed, Ms. Coons.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, what is your full name?
Yes, Yvonne Dewan Stevenson.
And what are the full names of your children on the case?
Yes, Elijah Dewan Stevenson and Inslee May Stevenson.
Okay. And you're the father of each of the children?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
And did you in fact sign acknowledgements of paternity for both children?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I ask that the acknowledgement of paternity for Elijah Stevenson be placed in evidence as State's Exhibit 1.
Okay, Mr. Stevenson, any objection to that exhibit coming into evidence?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Miss Wooten, any objection?
No.
State's Exhibit 1 is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I ask that the acknowledgement of paternity for Inslee Stevenson be placed in evidence as State's Exhibit 2.
Any objection, Mr. Stevenson?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
Any objection, Miss Wooten?
No.
State's Exhibit 2 is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. And, sir, what is Elijah's date of birth?
Yes, it's October 9th, 2013,
And what is Inslee's date of birth?
March 25th, 2020.
Okay. Do both children primarily reside with you?
Yes, ma'am, they do.
Okay. And was there a time when Ms. Wooten was also residing in the same home with you and the children?
There was a year ago, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know approximately when you separated, the date
I want to say around April to May, ma'am. Maybe May 4th to be exact.
of 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, I remember because she said, "May the 4th be with you," and I'm leaving. And that stuck with me forever.
Okay. And when you separated, did the children live primarily with you at that point as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and they've continued to do so.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any concerns with your address and other identifying information and the information for the children being included in the court's orders?
No, ma'am.
And do you have any concerns with sharing rights and responsibilities for the children with their mother?
No, ma'am. Just supervised visitations, and other than that, ma'am, I'm great.
Okay. And what is the reason you believe that they need to have supervised visitation with their mother?
I'm just concerned about my son's health and his.
Oh, NPC, thank you from me for sending $10. That was amazing. I appreciate it. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm wearing my bathing suit here and my sundress. Let's just say it would not be appropriate to go out and about in. But I'm glad we're all coming together. Thank you again, NPC. Look at her face, by the way. Alyssa is indignant, and she should be. We're gonna find out here in a little bit. Things aren't maybe quite as they seem, or quite as they always are, or often are in these cases. So, yeah.
Emotional well-being as well as my daughters. We tried this a couple of weeks ago, and it led to an altercation. And where she currently resides, it made trouble and put my son into a position where he had to lie to me, and the police were called. And yes, ma'am, she's a great mother. At this point, I just like to have them supervised because where they're staying, I just want to make sure they're okay.
Who was involved in the altercation?
Me and Miss Alyssa Wooten, and I guess the tenant or the owner of the property.
Okay. And the children were present, I guess, at the time.
No, ma'am, I took them home, ma'am. They was picked up with a strange vehicles with her, and it just led to him trying to lie to me about the situation. But turns out he was with people who I didn't know. I thought it was going to be an outing with their mother.
Okay. So, have they been having some regular visits with their mother during the
No,
separation?
ma'am. No, ma'am. We tried the 50-50, was inconsistent. There was no communication. I would call. There'll be no feedback, ma'am. No callbacks. So I just kept on, and I believe twice out of the year I took him over there. But other than that, now I think that's about it.
Okay. Um, is there anything more specific you're wanting to request from the court on visitations as far as times or anything like that?
No, ma'am. As time frames, the weekend, every other weekend, it works for me. If it works for her, I was very open with anything. Yes, ma'am.
Are you wanting the visitation to be supervised indefinitely, or are you wanting a certain number of supervised visits before progressing to
Ma'am,
unsupervised?
yeah, yeah, just a certain number, ma'am. I mean, like I said, she's a great mother, but the first 2 or 3 times they can supervise, and we can take it off after that. Now, if everything goes well.
Okay. And at that point, do you think they would be ready for overnight visits? Or would they need to start with shorter visits?
They would start with shorter visits, and after the supervisions, and yes, ma'am, they start staying the night, and we can go further into depth.
Okay. Do you have any idea of how many supervised visits you would want them to have with their mother before they start unsupervised?
We can start off with 3, ma'am.
Okay.
I like the first. Yes, ma'am.
Um, so after 3 supervised visits, how long do you think the supervised visit should be?
If it's just
You guys, I forgot about why he said it was so dangerous. Because what did we hear so far that needs supervision? Really? And we're gonna find out. I guess mom's out working most of the time. Dad's staying at home. That comes into play here. The emojis look different, a little bit different. Oh no. Hi, MB. Sherry B is here to say hello to thee. Okay, let's go.
I guess that she works on Saturdays and all Sundays, so it'd be all day Sundays now. Every other weekend, all Sundays.
So
Good with that.
start off with visits that are pretty well all day, and with the next set of visits that are unsupervised, would you want those also to be just a full day visit as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then after that, do you believe that they would need to progress to visits over just one night, or would they be ready for full weekends, standard visitation with alternating holidays, longer visit in the spring and summer?
I want to say the alternating, ma'am. My daughter's full for it. My 5-year-old, but my 11-year-old son, he's kind of hesitant right now. He's the one I'm concerned about. So I would say it has to progress with an alternate.
Okay. How and how many visits that are just daytime visits do you think before going to the overnight visits?
The same amount, 3 would be just fine.
Okay. Is there anything else you believe the court needs to know from you about how you believe rights and responsibilities for the children need to be shared?
Uh, I take care of everything, ma'am. Just support and I just like to know who my children's around and where they want to be, and just in case an emergency situation should arise, I know where to go and need to change information if that's okay.
Um, let's see. And Do you currently have health or dental insurance for the children?
Yes, ma'am. I have health and dental for them.
Okay. Is that something that you provide through an employer?
I provide through the state now.
Okay. Do you know if there's any other coverage available to you at this time at a reasonable cost?
Uh, I'm a veteran, so my VA benefits should be kicking in within the next month, and they're on there as well as injury disabilities on there. So they should be having some more coverage through the veteran.
Okay. I pass the witness.
Okay, Ms. Wooten, do you have any questions of Mr. Stevenson? You're going to get an opportunity to testify in just a few minutes, but do you have any questions about what he just testified to?
Yes, he lied.
Wait a minute, you'll get the opportunity to testify. I'm asking if you have any questions. This should begin with who, what, when, where.
No.
Okay. Ms. Coons?
Your Honor, the state calls Miss Wooten.
Okay, Ms. Wooten, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can lower your hand. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, what is your full name?
Alyssa Wooten. Alyssa Nicole Wooten.
Okay. And you're the mother of each of the children on the case?
Yes.
Ma'am, are there any concerns with your address and other identifying information being in the court order?
No, he knows where I live. He followed
Okay.
me.
If you were to move, would you have any reasons that you would need to keep that information confidential?
No, I can protect myself.
Um, are you also currently providing health and dental insurance for the children?
Yes.
Do you have information available regarding the cost of the coverage you're providing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and is that something that you provide through your employer?
Yes.
Okay, and do you know how much it costs you for the health insurance that you provide for the children?
Okay, so the pre-tax dental buy-up is 22.24 per week divided by 4. And then the pre-tax TPO plan is 72.35 per week divided by 4. Yeah, you have to divide that by 4 because there's 4 of us on there.
Okay. Let's see. And how long have you worked for your current employer?
3 years, almost 3.5.
Okay. And let's see, have you had any changes in your income?
No.
Um, Your Honor, I ask that the investigative report on Ms. Wooten's income be placed in evidence as State's Exhibit 3.
Any objection, Ms. Wooten, to that exhibit coming in as evidence?
No.
Any objection, Mr. Stevenson?
No, no, Your Honor, I do not.
All right, State's Exhibit 3 is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Ms. Wooten, is it correct that you and Mr. Stevenson separated around May 4th of 2024?
That's when I left. We separated before that.
Okay. But prior to that date, were you in the home helping to support the children directly?
Yes. I was the
Okay.
only one working.
And when you separated, the children stay primarily with Mr. Stevenson?
Yes, because I didn't have a place to go.
Okay. And they've continued to stay primarily with him though?
Yes, because I work nights. Because I
Oh.
work.
And let's see, do you have anything you believe the court needs to know from you regarding how you believe rights and responsibilities for the children should be shared between you and Mr. Stevenson?
I don't believe that supervised visits, 'cause I've never once hurt my kids. He's the one who showed up to my friend's house causing problems. I picked my kids up in a different car, yes, but it's because my stereo in my car doesn't work. I need music to relax, and they were never over there. They stayed in the car whenever I went by there to get my towel, and then we went to the pool. So they were never inside that house of my friends, even though they're not bad people.
Okay.
He just
And let's see. Have during the separation, how often have you been able to see the children?
I, I'm scared to contact him.
Okay. Have um have there been
Every time I try to contact him, or whenever I blocked him, it's because he's sending me messages.
Okay, could you answer the question though, Miss Wooten? How often have you seen them since you separated?
Mm, more than 2 times that he said in the past year. It's been more than that, but I can't count.
okay. Do
I had
you
my daughter, hold on, I'm sorry. I had my daughter and my son. He dropped them off one time and he never came back to pick them up that night. I had no inhaler for my son, nor any clean clothes. And I was just expected and then I turned into the bad parent because I didn't have an inhaler because everything was at his house. I left everything there so that my kids had his inhaler, his breathing treatment, their clothes.
okay.
And
Um have you been able to see them each month or most months?
no,
Okay.
there was 3 months I went without seeing them.
Okay. And when you've seen them, has it been primarily daytime visits or
Before it was overnight visits, and then it's just here and there.
okay. And what do you believe would be in the children's best interest as far as visitation with you?
At least every other weekend, where I don't
Okay.
have to, where it's just about the kids and not about my personal life or anything like that. Because
Okay.
without him asking questions about what I'm doing when I don't have the kids.
Okay. And let's see. Do you have other minor children besides the children on the case?
No.
I passed the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Stevenson, do you have any questions of Miss Wooten?
Yes, Your Honor. Did we file married on our taxes?
Object to relevance of that, Your Honor.
Sustained. It's not relevant, Mr. Stevenson. Do you have any other questions?
That was it, ma'am.
Okay. Miss Wooten,
Yeah, that's a good point, MB. How are there 4 people on her insurance if there's only 2 kids? But I think she actually has a 3rd child, and that is not his. That is older. MB, that is not part of this case. So she has 3 children, 2 with this guy, and one of them not under 18, so therefore not calculated in this calculation. But we're gonna hear Dad talk a little bit more here. We might I don't know what we'll feel. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Also, saying chopped onions is making me think about my meal prep. I'm always so ambitious when I'm starting, depending on the playlist I choose. I was thinking about doing the like Italian dinner playlist, but I also have to get drunk if I listen to that playlist. It's like they go hand in hand.
And if you have possession every other weekend, you work during that time, where would the kids stay?
I have every other weekend off.
Okay. And is that on the first, third, and fifth? Is it on the second and
No,
fourth? How would you be able to arrange that with your employer?
no, it's automatically every other weekend off.
Okay.
So next weekend I'll work, and then the following weekend I'm off.
Okay. All right. Anything further, Ms. Coons?
No, Your Honor, the state rests.
State rest. That means they have no further evidence, no further testimony. Mr. Stevenson, do you have any further testimony?
Not at the moment, ma'am. I'm just worried about who's with my children and where they're going to be and that type of nature. They're concerned
Mr.
about that.
Mr. Stevenson, do you give Miss Wooten an itinerary of where all your children are going every day?
Yes, ma'am. If she needs to be, I take them the same old routine. I take them to school, boys and girls club, soccer practice, and back home. We go to the park at my mother's house.
And so, do you not trust that Miss Wooten would take care of the children no matter where they were?
Recently, until recent events, ma'am, I did, but until, like I said, the recent events happened, and the way my son was, he had to, I guess, lie to me, and that kind of traumatized him, and had my mom had to sit me and him down and talk. It's just that part right there just kind of got me, ma'am.
Did you ask Miss Wooten any questions? Did you contact her to try to find out what was going on?
Yes, ma'am. I had plenty of phone calls and text messages where I tried to contact, but there's no response. And my son said, "There's the car right there," so I happened to stop by. And
What was your concern with the car, Mr. Stevenson?
the car was right around the corner, ma'am. There was some partying going on. I believe it was just my son, my oldest one, so I just kind of let that go. But my son said that's the car that picked us up. And then I looked over, and it was her car, and they was outside drinking and things. And I was like, okay, But there was a day that she said that she was going to take them swimming. So I'm saying, So I said, okay, you're not going to take them swimming, but you're here. So I was like, and none of them spoke English. Nobody spoke English nowhere. So I was like, okay, so now I have people around my child who don't speak English. Now, who kind of got me nervous. And she don't speak any other language. So I was like, okay, now they're playing games with me. It got to the point where my oldest son is Noah, but she said that now he's no longer my son after 11 years and started turning him against me. I just don't want her to do the same thing to my youngest boy and my girl.
Okay, so how old is Noah?
Noah is 19 now, and I had him since he was 6.
And is that a child you share with Miss Wooten?
No, ma'am. I consider him my child, but he's my stepchild.
Who is his mom?
Miss Wooten.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anything further, Mr. Stevenson?
That's all, ma'am.
Okay. Miss Wooten, do you have any further testimony?
Just that the people he thinks are bad people, they're not bad people. And my kids have never been over there, except for in the car when I went to go pick up my towel out of my car to go swimming.
Okay. All right. Close, Miss Kuntz.
Yes, Your Honor. I just asked the court's determination on the conservatorship and possession and access based on the testimony of the parties today. I would ask.
You know, I don't think she said it, but I want you to guess it. Get your guesses in the chat what you think mom's child support is going to be set at. Yeah, it's an unusual case. Role reversal, and guess what? Spoiler alert. It's not minimum wage. How about that? That's your spoiler alert. But get your guesses in the chat. What will the monthly child support amount be for this lady right here? Oh dear. Oh dear. And it's 2 kids. Oh, $145 a month. Minimum wage presumption comes out to about $190 a month for 1 kid. So far, I don't think I've seen it, but we'll see what she says. Let's go.
That Ms. Wooten be responsible for providing the health and dental insurance through her employment. It appears based on the information in the testimony, the approximate cost for 2 children on medical is $156.76 per month, and the cost on dental is $48.19 per month. Taking that into account, the guideline child support amount I come out with is $1,114, with a step down to $911 monthly. And I would let's see. I have not done the retroactive support calculation, Your Honor. I apologize. I will look at that. We do ask that Ms. Wooten be responsible for court costs on the matter.
Okay. Mr. Stevenson, are you requesting retroactive child support for the last year?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay.
Yes,
And
Your
Ms.
Honor.
Wooten, have you paid Mr. Stevenson any direct support over the last year?
Yes, ma'am.
How much?
How much did she pay in support over the last year? Mikey, nice to see you. It's good for ratings, apparently, for me to be scantily clad and hot and sweaty somehow. I think everyone's just waiting for a nip slip, to be honest. Hope you're well. Is it, I don't know, it's very hot here. Seriously, very, very hot. Anyways, what do we think she's given? By the way, $1,100 plus for child support is a lot in Texas. She has to make a lot. Yes, Patrick. 2 of them.
Can I go to my cash app real fast and look?
Sure.
Also, you can't just turn the AC on. There's no AC to turn on. I wish it was that simple. You don't think I would have already put it on? Bill's over here trying to
While she's doing that, Mr.
out.
Stevenson, have you received money from Ms. Wooten through Cash App?
Yes, ma'am, I had for the children, I guess, for all the bills that she left behind that she didn't pay. She didn't pay 2 to 3 months worth of bills and just financially abandoned it.
Okay. Do you have a figure in which you think she paid you over the last year?
I'm not trying to, be all dishwasher about it. Just if she comes up with a good estimate, I can look at my cash app again, ma'am.
Okay.
But yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, go ahead and pull that up so that you can kind of verify once she gets that information.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you ready, Ms. Wooten?
Yes, so starting May 9th, 2024, I sent 30. May 13th, 2024, I sent 850.
850? 850? What?
850.
Okay. What's the total? Do you have just a total of what you sent him?
No, ma'am, I'm going through all the transactions.
Okay, so you've got $30 and $8.50 so far.
Yep. And then on May 22nd, another $30. June 3rd, $30. June 21st, 2024, 830. July 10th, 2024, 500. Then August 26th, $10. I think he just asked for
Now I'm not gonna count that $10. What else you got?
September 2nd, 400. September 12th, 300. October 8th, but that was for my son's birthday so that he could get some birthday presents. Was 200.
I'm not gonna count that. What
Okay.
else you got?
I got on October 12th, $20, October 13th, $10, October 21st, $30, October 30th, 100, but that was for their Halloween costumes.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, hold on. She's not really been out of their life except for. I'm starting to believe that she really is afraid of this guy to call him and ask for the kids. He sounds controlling as fuck. I'm worried about people not speaking English. Keep in mind, I fucking sent my kid to a school where they don't speak English on purpose. How do you feel about that, bro? No, but seriously, I'm just like, this is a lot of money that she's providing. This is not like it's $10 and $30 and $30 and $30, but then $800. And oh, look at Barry. Oh, I love it. $3,130 since May of 2024. That's a lot. I mean, it's not $1,000 a month, but it's something.
sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, November 14th, 200. January 3rd, 250.
And it's consistent.
January 30th, 200. February 28th, 300. Let me see. May 25th, 300. And that's it.
Okay.
I'm 16 years older and 18 years older than my sisters. Two of them. Oh, makes me feel very old because they're closer in age to my daughter than they are to me. But, yeah. Sorry, MB, I'm just reading your comment. Your brother's 19 years older than you. I'm the older one. That reminds me, I found a picture of me when I was younger. I'll go grab it.
Mr. Stevenson, did those amounts sound accurate to you?
I'm looking right now, ma'am, through May, and I have the 850 was for the rent she left. That wasn't for the kids.
Well, did it help you pay the rent, Mr. Stevenson?
Well, ma'am, she got kicked out. We got kicked out, and I had to make a new lease. That's why. So it kind of
Okay.
didn't pay the rent, and so he put a eviction notice. And talking to him and talking to some other supporters, I was able to get it down to a manageable payment to where I could stay in the house, but she had to pay her back payment so she can complete her contract so it won't go against her. So she didn't pay the first few months. So
Okay,
what about
the other amounts that Miss Wooten said?
Okay, that's what I'm going over right now. After 8:50, I'm seeing the 8:30 that was on the June 21st. That was that's when I started my contract for rent. So that was again for her back payment for Mr. Smith. He kept calling her and she wouldn't answer, so I kept calling her and she put it right there for rent. But everything else after that, I consider that towards the kids' amount. But again, those first few months, those big ones, she put for rent on because she did not pay the rent bills, or she just left. She plain just left. So
But she's allowed to leave. And she don't pay your fucking rent. That's not how it works. That should count. Or she should not be having to pay back support to the full amount for those places. Also, he's not helping at all with the bills? What the fuck? Jesus.
that wasn't for the kids' welfare thing that's paying whatever she owes, so I can start, so me and the kids can start over new.
How much was the rent?
The rent at that time was, I believe, 830, I believe.
And so
I want to say
was Miss Wooten responsible for the entire rent?
yes, ma'am. I said,
Oh my god, I dream of rent of $850. Oh my god. My life would be so different, so great, if I only had to pay $850. Seriously, holy.
I stay at home. I was a stay-at-home father, and she did the work, and so the rent she usually pays, the storage, things like that usually gets paid. But again, for the first 2 January and February, and he came to me and said these are not getting paid, and she left. So it was a shock to me that it wasn't being paid.
Okay. All right. Okay, Ms. Coots, do you have a figure?
Well, fucking goddamn it. Y'all, you realize that means that she gonna, still pay his rent. $300 a month plus internet and power? Oh my god. That's so good, I think, Sir Philip. I don't know the exchange rate to Australian dollars. Google Daddy doesn't tell me. He just does the US to Canadian conversion. You can do a sperm bank and make $100 a day? Oh, I can make more off that for a sperm. I'm kidding. It's actually not worth a lot. There's a plethora.
Jordan, I wasn't sure which credits we were looking at on all of them, but the total I come out with before credits, is $15,596.
Okay. All right. What are you requesting, Mr. Stevenson?
As far as retro payment, ma'am.
As far as everything, conservatorship, possession and access, current child support, medical support, and retroactive.
I just support, ma'am, the child support, the retroactive, everything else, ma'am. I can handle. I've been managing. We've been doing great. I got 80 honor roll student. My youngest is student of the month, student of the week. So we're doing great over this end. They just want to see their mother, which, I believe they should. But other than that, ma'am.
Okay. All right. What are you requesting, Ms. Wooten?
To see my kids without him being involved, because I can't see him. I've tried so hard. But he brings my mental health down so bad and I can't see him.
Where have the exchanges taken place? Do you go to the house and pick the kids up, Miss Wooten?
Either go to the house and pick them up or he drops them off at mine.
Okay. All right. Okay, I will name the parties, Mr. Stevenson and Miss Wooten, joint managing conservators of the children, with Mr. Stevenson being the conservator with the exclusive right to determine the primary residence of the children, with a geographic restriction of Wilbarger and contiguous counties. I will order, I'm not going to order actually a non-disclosure. The parties, neither party requested a non-disclosure. As to possession and access, I'm going to order a standard possession order with the weekend visitations being on the times that Miss Wooten is not working on the weekends, every other weekend. I'm ordering Ms. Wooten to maintain health insurance and dental insurance and giving credit for those in the calculation of child support. I'm ordering current child support in the amount of $1,114 with a step down to $911 for one child. Retroactive child support will be $12,000. I'm ordering Ms. Wooten to pay $75 a month towards that judgment beginning July 1st, 2025. The current child support and current medical support will also begin July 1st, 2025. The exchanges of the possession will be at the residence of Mr. Stevenson, so the pickup and the drop-off will be at Mr. Stevenson's unless the parties agree otherwise. The parties can make any agreement that they want to regarding possession and access, as long as the two of you agree to that. Should you not agree, then you will fall back to the standard possession order. Miss Wooten has had possession of the children overnight in the past, and just to prevent any alienation or anything against either parent, that's why I'm ordering what I feel is in the best interest of the children, which is a standard possession order, so that they have access to both parents equally, or as much as equally as possible. That will also include a Thursday possession from 6 to 8. I don't know if you can do that, Miss Wooten, since you work at night, but maybe the two of you can agree to some other midweek possession so that you can see the children every week or access them electronically on that Thursday. Court costs will be assessed against Miss Wooten to be paid 1 year from today's date. Does that address all of the issues, Miss Coombs?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Any party can ask for a new hearing on any of the issues that I've ruled on today by filing a trial de novo with the Wilbarger County District Clerk's Office within the next 3 days. It must be in writing. It must specify the portion of my ruling in which a new hearing is being requested, and notice must go out to all of the parties on the case. Ms. Coons will draft the order that I've ordered today. She will submit it to me for signature and review. Once I've signed it, then copies will go out to each of you. I appreciate you both being here today. Good luck to you in the future. That concludes today's hearing, and you're free to disconnect from the Zoom meeting.
Thank you.
Yawn.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Phew. I was like, is he gonna talk or is he gonna be done? That is a good ruling. Mom could probably go for an expanded standard possession order in the future once she establishes her rights and gets in the habit of exercising them, is what I mean. If you were here for the first time tonight, thank you so much. Please like the video. It's not always like that case, but I'm always here, so that's fun. If you've been here before, do me a favor, leave me a comment. I really love to wake up to comments and messages in the morning. It always makes me happy. What time tomorrow, Vicky? Thank you for keeping me on track. The time tomorrow will be just after, I believe, 2:45 Pacific, which is 5:45 East Coast time. And guess what? We have lots of court to go through because I hoard court. That's part of my problem. Anyways, do me a favor. Remember that I love you and I'm proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye. Bye.
Ways down and ready to ride.